Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room or even your own home and noticed a certain lingering odor, something faint but unpleasant, like ammonia, or maybe that sharp scent that seems to cling to furniture or clothing? You might not say it out loud, but deep down you wonder, is that me? If you've ever caught yourself worrying about this, or even avoided hugging someone too close because you weren't sure how you smelled, you're not alone. This is something many older adults face quietly, sometimes with embarrassment, sometimes with confusion. It's a topic that hardly anyone wants to talk about, but it's time we shine a light on it. So today, we're going to talk about why older people sometimes develop that unpleasant, urine-like smell, and more importantly, how to get rid of it for good. This isn't just about staying fresh, it's about dignity, confidence, and feeling like yourself again. Whether you're dealing with this yourself or caring for someone you love, understanding what's behind the smell can bring so much relief. Let me be very clear. This issue is not just about personal hygiene. There are deeper, more complex reasons why this happens. And in many cases, it's completely fixable. You're not dirty. You're not lazy. You're human. And your body changes over time. That's nothing to feel ashamed of. But with the right habits and a few changes, you can take back control and feel fresher, cleaner, and more confident every day. Let's start by talking about something most people don't realize. Our sense of smell actually changes with age. Over time, our noses become less sensitive, so we don't always notice odors the way we used to. That means you might be unaware that your clothes, bedding, or even your skin have absorbed certain smells. It's not your fault, it's biology. But that's also why we have to be extra mindful of how we manage cleanliness as we get older. Now, one of the biggest culprits behind this specific smell, yes, that urine-like scent, is something incredibly common, a little issue called urinary leakage. And here's the truth, it happens to millions of people over 60. Sometimes it's just a few drops, other times it's more than that. But even a tiny leak, especially if it happens regularly, can seep into fabrics and cause lingering smells that regular soap and water won't fix. And the most surprising part, many people don't even know it's happening. You see, as the bladder weakens with age, small leaks can occur without you even feeling it. This is especially true during physical activity, coughing, or even while laughing. It's called stress incontinence, and it's incredibly common, especially among women who've had children or men with prostate issues. But here's the mistake that so many make, ignoring it or worse, covering it up with sprays or perfumes. Covering up a smell doesn't remove it. It just masks it temporarily. And when you layer one scent on top of another, it often makes things worse. You don't want to walk around smelling like lavender and something else. The real solution is to address the source. Now here's where we get into the first real mistake people make: wearing absorbent pads or adult briefs without changing them often enough. These products are helpful and absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, but they have to be used properly. If you're wearing a pad for too long, especially overnight or during hot weather, it's going to absorb urine and hold it against your skin. That not only leads to odor but can also cause skin irritation and even infections. So what can you do? First, if you use pads or briefs, make sure they're the right size and type for your needs. Some are designed for light leakage, while others are for heavier use. Always opt for breathable, high-quality products and change them regularly. If possible, carry a fresh one with you whenever you leave the house, just in case. You'll feel so much more at ease knowing you're prepared. Now let's talk about something else that makes a big difference: the laundry routine. This is mistake number 2, washing clothes, bedsheets, or undergarments without using the right method to remove odor. You see, when urine dries, it leaves behind crystals that can cling to fabric fibers. Even if you wash your clothes, those crystals can stay locked in and release the smell again when you sweat or move. The solution: white vinegar. It might not sound glamorous, but it works. Adding half a cup of white vinegar to your wash, either in the rinse cycle or alongside your regular detergent, helps neutralize those ammonia-like smells and break down the crystals. Baking soda works well too. You don't need expensive, fancy products, just good old-fashioned pantry items that have been proven to work. And don't forget about the surfaces we often overlook. Upholstered furniture, car seats, even the cushions on your favorite recliner, they all absorb moisture and odors over time. If you've had a leak while sitting even once, chances are that smell is still hiding somewhere in the fabric. Use a fabric-safe enzymatic cleaner for spots, or sprinkle baking soda and let it sit overnight before vacuuming. And when possible, try to use washable seat covers or waterproof liners, especially on the areas you sit most. So far, we've talked about just 2 of the 7 major mistakes that can lead to that unpleasant smell. First, using incontinence products improperly, and second, not washing fabrics in a way that actually removes odor. These aren't small things, they matter. Because when you address the real cause instead of just the symptoms, you give yourself freedom. You get to feel clean again. You get to walk into a room without worrying what people smell. That's not just hygiene, that's peace of mind. And trust me, the changes are easy once you know what to do. You deserve to feel good in your skin, and you absolutely have the power to make that happen, starting today. Now let's take a deeper look at something else that's just as important, but often ignored. Because while leaks in laundry are big parts of the problem, there's another source that might be even closer to the skin, and you might not even realize it's contributing, and that's your skin. Specifically, the areas of skin that stay warm, moist, and covered for long periods, like the groin, inner thighs, and lower abdomen. When even a small amount of urine comes into contact with the skin and isn't properly cleaned, it doesn't just cause odor. It actually starts to break down the skin's natural barrier. That leads to irritation, redness, and in some cases, a strong ammonia-like smell that seems to cling no matter how often you shower. This brings us to mistake number 3, using the wrong soaps, or worse, avoiding proper cleaning out of fear of damaging the skin. Some people are so worried about making things worse that they skip cleaning altogether, or they use baby wipes and think that's enough. The truth is, older skin is delicate, but it still needs the right kind of cleansing. The key is to be gentle but thorough. Instead of harsh bar soaps or heavily scented body washes, try using a mild, pH-balanced cleanser designed for sensitive skin, and don't forget to gently clean between skin folds where moisture tends to gather. A soft cloth, warm water, and a cleanser that won't strip your skin of its natural oils can go a long way in removing odor, causing bacteria without leaving your skin feeling raw or dry. Then pat. Don't rub yourself dry, and if needed, apply a non-greasy barrier cream to protect the area throughout the day. Now here's something you may not have considered. Mistake number 4 is skipping hydration. You might be thinking, wait, what does drinking water have to do with how I smell? A lot, actually. When your body doesn't get enough fluids, your urine becomes more concentrated. That means it's darker, smells stronger, and leaves behind a much more noticeable odor. On your clothes, your skin, and in your home. A lot of people reduce how much they drink to avoid going to the bathroom so often, but this just makes things worse. It might sound counterintuitive, but drinking more water slowly throughout the day can actually help prevent accidents. How? Because a hydrated bladder can empty more efficiently. Concentrated urine irritates the bladder and increases the urge to go, sometimes suddenly. But when your body is well hydrated, your urine is lighter, gentler, and far less odorous. You don't have to chug a gallon, just aim for small sips throughout the day. Keep a glass or bottle nearby and remind yourself clean water equals clean body, inside and out. And speaking of the inside, that leads us right into mistake number 5, not checking your diet. Certain foods and drinks can actually make urine smell stronger, and unfortunately, many of these are popular comfort items. Caffeine, alcohol, asparagus, garlic, and even certain vitamins can create strong, lingering odors in your urine. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up everything you enjoy, but being mindful of what you eat and drink can make a big difference. If you've ever noticed your urine smelling particularly strong after a cup of coffee or a few slices of cheese, that's not your imagination. High-protein diets and acidic foods can also affect your body's scent. It doesn't mean these foods are bad, it just means moderation matters. Try balancing rich foods with more fresh fruits, leafy greens, and hydrating meals like soups or smoothies. Your body will thank you, and so will your nose. Now let's pause for a second, because this is where many people start to feel overwhelmed. You might be thinking, there's so much to keep track of, or how am I supposed to change all of this at my age? But let me remind you of something important. You've made it this far because you're strong. You've adapted before, and you can absolutely do it again. This isn't about being perfect. It's about feeling better, smelling better, living better, one step at a time. If you've been struggling with that lingering odor, or if you're constantly worried about how others perceive you, please know that you're not alone, and there is nothing wrong with you. Your body is doing what bodies do. But just like we adjust our glasses when our eyes change, or our shoes when our feet ache, we can adjust how we care for our skin, our habits, and our environment to fit this stage of life. These aren't just fixes. They're acts of self-respect, of kindness to yourself. And once you start making these small changes, you'll notice something remarkable. You'll feel lighter, more relaxed. That subtle anxiety about how you smell when you're in a crowd, in a waiting room, or hugging your grandchild, that will start to fade. And in its place, peace, confidence, relief. Let me share something a woman named Linda once told me. She's 73, vibrant, funny, and deeply independent, but for years, she avoided hosting anyone at her home, even her closest friends. She worried they'd catch a whiff of something she couldn't quite pin down. She cleaned constantly. She used air fresheners. She changed her clothes multiple times a day. Nothing seemed to help until she realized the issue wasn't her housekeeping. It was how she was washing her laundry and the fact that her favorite recliner had absorbed years of unnoticed leaks. We walked through a few of these steps together, adjusting her pads, switching her laundry routine, using a gentle cleanser, and most importantly, drinking more water. Within 2 weeks, she called me and said, "I invited my neighbor over for tea, and for the first time in years, I wasn't embarrassed." That's what this is about. Freedom, dignity, living your life without holding back. And if Linda can do it, so can you. There's still more to uncover here, because while we've looked at what touches the skin and what goes into the body, there are still hidden mistakes that can sabotage even the best efforts. And if you've been doing everything right and still struggling with odor, one of those might be the key you've been missing, and sometimes that missing piece is right under your nose, literally. Mistake number 6 is one that almost nobody talks about, but it's one of the most common reasons the smell sticks around even when you're doing everything else right. I'm talking about clothing, specifically your undergarments. You see, many of us develop a routine with laundry that's been the same for decades. We wear our favorite pair of pants until they're soft as butter. We keep underwear around because it still fits. But the truth is, certain fabrics, especially cotton blends, begin to hold on to odor over time, no matter how often you wash them. And when there's even a little moisture or leakage, those smells soak in, stay in, and become part of the fabric. Here's what happens. You wash your underwear, you dry it, it looks clean, smells clean, but when body heat activates that fabric, or the tiniest bit of dampness comes into contact with it again, that same odor reappears. It's like a ghost smell that haunts your clothes, and it can follow you even after you've bathed, sprayed perfume, or changed outfits. What's the fix? It's simple but important. Replace your undergarments regularly. Think of it like your toothbrush or your kitchen sponge. It does a job, but it's not meant to last forever. Even if your underwear isn't torn or stained, if it's been in your rotation for more than 6 months to a year, it might be time to let it go. Look for moisture, wicking, breathable fabrics made for sensitive skin and long wear, and if you can, let them dry in the sun now, and then sunlight naturally kills bacteria and helps eliminate deep, set odors in a way no dryer can. But clothes are only half the story. There's another layer, and it's something we often forget about until someone else points it out: our environment. Mistake number 7 is overlooking the places where odors hide: carpets, curtains, mattresses, and even our beloved pets' favorite spots on the couch. If you've been dealing with leakage or even occasional accidents, the places you sit and sleep absorb those smells over time. You might not notice it anymore. You've gone nose blind to it. But visitors, family members, or caregivers often pick it up instantly, and that can be embarrassing, especially if they don't say anything but you see it on their face. So how do you deal with it without tearing your house apart or spending a fortune? Start with small things. Sprinkle baking soda on carpets and let it sit overnight before vacuuming. It's old school, but it works. Use washable covers on your chairs or sofa, especially if they're your go-to nap spots. If you can, air out your home regularly. Open windows even for just 10 minutes. Fresh air is free, and it does wonders for clearing trapped smells. And let's not forget one of the biggest helpers in the fight against lingering odor: enzyme cleaners. These aren't just fancy sprays, they break down the actual biological material left behind by urine and bacteria. You can find them in most pet aisles or medical supply stores. They're safe, effective, and worth every penny if you're serious about getting rid of that smell for good. Now, I want to pause here because I know this can all feel like a lot. You might be feeling a little overwhelmed or even a bit embarrassed. But let me remind you of something that matters more than anything. This is not about shame. This is about self-care. This is about taking control of something that has quietly stolen your comfort and confidence and saying, no more. You deserve to walk into your home and feel clean. You deserve to hug your grandchildren without worrying. You deserve to sit in the company of others without wondering if anyone can smell something you can't. And with the right habits, the right products, and a little consistency, you absolutely can. I want you to remember that these 7 mistakes are just that, mistakes. They're not failures. They're not signs that you've let yourself go or that aging has taken away your dignity. They're small, fixable oversights that can be changed with gentle steps and a bit of knowledge. And I want you to feel empowered. Because now you know the truth. You know that odor doesn't have to define your space, your body, or your relationships. You know that one drop of vinegar in your wash, one extra glass of water, or one clean pair of underwear can change how you feel about yourself today. And that's the power you carry, even in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond. You are not helpless, you are not invisible, you are still in charge of your life, your body, your home. And every time you choose to take care of yourself, you're sending a message: I still matter. I still deserve peace, cleanliness, and joy. So here's what I want from you today. Take a look around. Maybe it's your favorite recliner. Maybe it's that stack of older undergarments. Maybe it's your water glass that's been empty for hours. Pick one thing, just one, and make a small change. Wash it, replace it, wipe it down, or simply take a sip. That's it. Start small. Start now. And while you're at it, I'd love to hear from you. Have you faced any of these challenges? Found a trick that works wonders? Don't keep it to yourself. Share it in the comments below. You never know who you might be helping with your words. If this video helped you feel seen, understood, or just gave you some peace of mind, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want more real, honest conversations about the things nobody tells us about getting older, hit that subscribe button. We're in this together, and there's so much more to explore. Here's to freshness. Here's to freedom. Here's to living with dignity at every age.